Good afternoon and welcome to our midday briefing. First, and as has been expected already for a while, we can confirm that the Commission has adopted a new package of sanctions against Russia, the 19th package, and President von der Leyen will do a statement on this regard with HRVP Kallas this afternoon, announcing precisely this package of sanctions. The statements will be broadcast on EBS, and we will inform you of the exact timing as soon as possible. We will then share also now, as usual, on Friday, the agenda of President von der Leyen for the upcoming days. As I had already the possibility to mention, the President is travelling on Sunday to New York ahead of the General Assembly to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. Already on Sunday, President von der Leyen is meeting with Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, and Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, together with the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa. On Monday, the President will participate in the UN's General Assembly, and she will later deliver a speech at the Global Renewables Summit. In the evening, President von der Leyen will deliver a speech at the high-level international conference for the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. On Tuesday, the President will participate in the second day of the General Assembly. She will also deliver a speech at the conference Restoring Childhood and Humanity, Advancing Peace in Ukraine through the Return of Ukrainian Children. On Wednesday, President von der Leyen will deliver a keynote speech at the high-profile event Protecting Children in the Digital Age. She will also participate in the Global Citizen Now, in the impact sessions, and deliver a speech in the Investing in Renewable Energy in Africa. This is a panel. Finally, the President will deliver a speech at the United Nations Climate Summit 2025. We have published further details on the President's trip to New York in today's daily news, as well as more details on the visits by other members of the College who will be there with President von der Leyen. We will invite you to have a look. Ensuite, je me permets de vous rappeler que les ministres de l'économie et des finances sont à Copenhague aujourd'hui et demain pour une réunion de l'Eurogroupe qui sera suivie d'une réunion informelle du Conseil ECOFIN. Les commissaires Dombrovskis et Albuquerque ont représenté la Commission lors de la réunion de l'Eurogroupe de ce matin, au cours de laquelle les évolutions macroéconomiques et l'euro numérique ont été à l'ordre du jour. Cet après-midi, ils participeront également à la réunion informelle de l'ECOFIN qui débutera par une séance consacrée à la simplification de la régulation financière. Demain, samedi, la réunion informelle de l'ECOFIN se poursuivra et parmi les sujets à l'ordre du jour, les ministres discuteront des réformes structurelles nationales visant à renforcer la productivité et la résilience ainsi que des conséquences économiques de la géopolitique pour l'Europe. D'après mes dernières informations, la conférence de presse suivant l'Eurogroupe se termine ou est déjà terminée, ce qui veut dire que nous pouvons prendre vos questions sur l'économie. Bien entendu, je vous invite à consulter les réponses que le commissaire Dombrovskis vient de donner, ainsi qu'à suivre la conférence de presse qui aura lieu demain à la suite du Conseil ECOFIN, où vous aurez à nouveau la possibilité de poser vos questions à les membres du collège. Et je passe à une dernière annonce, et je reviens en anglais. We have today 18 undergraduate students of journalism from the University of Navarra in Spain who are joining us in the context of their studies. Welcome, una calurosa bienvenida a todos. We hope you enjoy your time with us here in the European Commission and in Brussels. And with this, we are now in a position to move on to your questions. David.
Hi. On the Russia sanctions, sorry, I wasn't listening so intently. 3 p.m. or what time? Can we expect a technical briefing? If not, why? And is there a VIP moment? I mean, that would be great to actually ask questions rather than just having a statement on EBS.
Yes, thank you, David. So I was not yet in a position to confirm the exact timing. And this is notably due to the fact that HRVP is in Brazil. So it should be beginning of the afternoon, early afternoon, but we will get back to you with an exact timing for the statements by President von der Leyen and by HRVP Kallas. As usual, when we put forward proposals on sanctions, you know, we do not do technical briefings. Why? Because the texts are not yet published. They are published then eventually once the package is agreed with the Council, and therefore no technical briefing is foreseen because precisely there are no texts that we share when it's about proposals of sanctions. So this is the information that I'm able to give you now, but as said, I will get back to you with an exact timing when you will be able to follow the statements on EBS. Other questions? Andy.
It's actually not on sanctions.
Yeah. It's okay.
So for Olaf, so the Commissioner Šefčovič gave an interview yesterday in which he said that the steel safeguards were not going to come at the end of September as promised. So why is that? What's the delay? And will he hit his new deadline of mid-October? Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, Thomas is stepping in for Olaf today, who is not here with us.
Hi, Andy. Let me first say that indeed, I mean, it's a strategic sector, of course, that we have identified. Work is ongoing at full speed. I mean, indeed, in terms of timeline, the good thing is that everyone agrees on the fact that it needs to come as quickly as possible. I have no precise timing so far to announce, but we're working on it and we'll propose it as soon as we'll be ready to propose it.
Thank you, Thomas. Now, since we have Thomas here with us, yes, please.
Hello, Valeria Pashko, public broadcaster of Ukraine. Commissioner Kubilius told Reuters yesterday that he's convening talks on drone wall with the member states to protect the EU against Russia. Could you please provide more information about these talks? What's the format of these talks? What's on agenda? Everything that you can share with us on that. And what about the Ukraine's participation in that? Thanks.
Thank you very much. So, indeed, Commissioner Kubilius mentioned yesterday that he will continue his work on the upcoming drone wall, a drone wall that was also announced by President von der Leyen in her State of the Union address. Why? Precisely because we have seen recent events in Romania and in Poland highlighting once again the need of the European Union to protect itself, to defend itself. And this, of course, includes protecting our frontline countries and Ukraine against potential drone attacks. So on this drone wall, work is ongoing. Indeed, we had previous exchanges. Of course, there was an interest. This is also what Commissioner Kubilius meant. He met with frontline countries. He had a visit with President von der Leyen to the frontline member states, where, of course, some of this interest was already raised by member states. Now he will continue his work, continue engaging with them to make sure that we can deliver on that if there is an interest from member states indeed.
Thank you. You have a follow-up?
Will NATO or NATO member state have a say in this initiative? And will Ukrainian minister participate in the talks which taking place next week?
SAFE can, our SAFE instrument can of course contribute to the wall, to such a drone wall, if member states in their national plans that they will submit to us by the 30th of November are requesting indeed certain of these essential components that could potentially contribute to this drone wall. Let me recall that Ukraine is fully associated by default to SAFE, so of course such a drone wall would of course protect Ukraine, the EU of course, and by definition then also of course certain NATO member states.
And the questions to Thomas. Yes, Andy, another question there.
Yeah, I just had a question on SAFE. So the UK, as you know, is trying to adhere to SAFE. The mandate is not finalised yet, but it should be within a week or so. The 30th of November deadline is quite close. As I understand it, the deal to allow the UK access has to go through the College and the Council and the Parliament. So is that going to happen? Can you guarantee that's possible by November the 30th? Thanks.
You say the UK wants to join. I can tell you we also want the UK to join. So we're fully working on that. We are, of course, also aware of the urgency. Why a certain urgency? You're fully right, Andy. By the 30th of November, the first initial plans will come in. And, of course, we want the UK to be able to fully participate up to the potential percentage above 35%, which is already the case, which will depend on the negotiations. The only thing I can reassure you, Andy, is that we will, of course, as soon as we're ready, engage with our UK counterparts and work quickly and efficiently to make sure that the UK can fully benefit and participate to our SAFE instrument.
Thank you, Thomas. Any other question to Thomas? No. Other questions? Yes, Nicolas.
Nicholas Coleman for Euractiv. It's mostly a question for clarification. The Commission President's agenda sees her not present in New York on 24th of September, which is when the high-level UN Secretary high-level climate event is, where the EU is expected to present its statement of intent to submit an NDC down the line. I just want to clarify who will present that on behalf of the EU and what will they say specifically when they present this non-binding statement of intent.
Good. I think Anna Kaiser can give you can give us some update on the letter of intent or declaration of intent in view of the NDCs.
So the submission of the declaration of intent or the statement of intent will be communicated both by the presidency, the EU presidency, and the Commission. So it will be submitted in writing, or communicated to the UNFCCC Secretariat, and then there's a Paris Agreement Implementation and Compliance Committee that will also get this. So now who is doing what? Normally there is a minister-level representation from the presidency as well as from the European Commission, and in our case it will be the chief climate negotiator, Commissioner Hoekstra. But now on the exact logistics in New York next week, that we will indeed have to check whether it will be done as part of the leader segment or whether that will be communicated at ministerial level earlier.
Yes, Nicolas, you have a follow-up.
I believe the Council press briefing made it very clear that it is not an NEC, nor will it be included in the synthesis report. So why is it being communicated in writing also?
I said that it will be communicated in writing as well. I will have to check. It will be communicated in any case to the Secretariat, and surely there will be the segment where these speeches will be made on NDCs, and in our case in the statement of intent, but whether the Secretariat or the depository for the NDCs will also be wanting it in writing, we will then of course will be able to do that.
David, on this?
Sorry, so this deadline for submitting an NDC, has this been met or has it not been met? Because this is, this is not an NDC, as we were told yesterday. I think in the Council statement twice, in bold, we were told that this is not an NDC. So can from the Commission's point of view, can you say whether the deadlines have been met to submit on time according to the UN CCC, the UN climate talks? Thanks.
Commissioner Hoekstra yesterday at the end of the Environment Ministers' Council made very clear where we are with this. It is correct, yes, this is not an NDC. This is a statement of intent that we will be presenting at UN next week. And he explained very well why this has been the process, how we are here, and what are now the next steps. And he also explained what is the process for the NDC. For having an NDC at EU level, there will be a UCO, there will be an extraordinary Environment Council after that, and we will have the NDC before COP. So he explained all of this, and I would refer to his press conference after the Council yesterday.
Good. Other questions to Anna Kaiser? Other topics? Yes. Yeah, Alexander.
Thank you, Maria Aroni from Athens News Agency. It's for Anna Kaiser, actually. I would like to repeat a question that was asked yesterday. Anna, I'm here. Could you please tell us which EU countries are still importing Russian gas, through which channels, and what are the volumes imported? Thank you.
Okay, so member states that import Russian gas per the latest information that we have, but with the caveat that where this gas goes, obviously we do not have, because we don't have official information on that. We know where the gas enters the EU system, but we do not know where it stays and where it's ultimately consumed. So this is an important caveat here. So member states who import Russian gas, Belgium, Netherlands, France, Spain, Portugal, mainly through tertiary gas, pipeline gas, and LNG, Greece, Slovakia, Hungary. Sorry, through Turk Stream, Greece, Slovakia, Hungary.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Anna Kaiser. Other questions to Anna Kaiser? Yes.
So it's a follow-up. Could you please provide us the volumes of gas which Hungary and Slovakia get via Turk Stream pipeline? Thanks.
No, these kind of like country-specific details of each commodity that I have the overall EU, what is being imported, since we have a very closely followed stats system, especially like also before the war, but especially now following the Repower EU plan since 22. So we have those at EU level. But that granularity, I'm hesitant to give on the record, because it's not us that act as a secretariat or depository for this information. We follow that as part of being able to make proposals and engage with our member states, and to have a better idea of what is going on, what their needs are, and how we can best address diversification issues, security of supply issues, infrastructure issues, etc. But for us to run a real-time commentary on who is buying what, from where, at what price, and when. This is information that, first of all, it is available. It is publicly accessible, but we are not officially the place to give this information. Therefore, I would hesitate to go into that level of detail. But overall, at EU level, this is, of course, something that we follow very, very closely because it's very much the basis for our proposals and our policies.
Yes, Maria, you have follow-up.
So these 8 EU countries that you just mentioned, they import only LNG from Russia?
Both pipeline and LNG.
Okay.
Yes.
As I mentioned, also through Turk Stream, so meaning also through pipeline. Yeah, Nikolaus?
Since you're already on the topic of REPowerEU, one part of it is enriched uranium, for which the Commission initially delayed making a proposal to restrict the trade with Russia. That was supposed to happen sometime after the summer. Is that still planned, and if so, when?
It is still planned, but I do not have any date to communicate at the moment.
And we're still in the summer, actually.
Yes. Despite all the clothes that you have on today, it's actually summer outside.
Still summer. Good.
I'm not encouraging you to start undressing or anything. Just to come.
Okay, that's okay, Anna. And it's still too late for you, Anna.
I must have fallen asleep 2 years ago when Hungary and Slovakia were the only people buying pipeline gas. So Greece is buying Russian pipeline gas and using it, correct? And how is that possible given that the EU has sanctioned, people who use Russian gas? Is there an exception? I know you sanctioned North, the Druzhba pipeline, or there was a voluntary commitment by some countries not to use it. So what's the situation with Greece legally? They're allowed to buy Russian gas and use it despite this EU ban? Thanks.
And it's also important to distinguish, right? There's oil, there's gas. Druzhba is oil. Yeah? So it's different things, and indeed there's a ban on oil with some exemptions. But Anna-Kaisa would like to.
On the legal situation in Greece, let me check that exactly, and it is listed on the. Let me just quickly check, because on gas, yes, it is Trans-Balkan pipeline imports from Greece, Azerbaijan, but it's not to Greece. Let me check that so that I'm not making complete nonsense here on the very important day of the 19th package.
Yes. So we'll clarify that. And with this, we can let Anna-Kaisa go. Yes. Oh, but wait. I have a question online. Leah? No, Leah. It was not for Anna-Kaisa after all. Good. Then we can change topic. Yes, Mose?
Thank you, Paula. I would like to ask briefly about 2 audit reports which were published this week by European Court of Auditors. One was on the shortages of medicines on Wednesday. We have already written about it. But the other report was on EU's aid for trade. That report was published on Tuesday, and it was about critical against, the insufficient aid or monitoring of that assistance, which is aimed to improve least development countries in Africa, for example, to develop their capacity to trade with the EU. I just wonder if you have any comments on the findings or recommendations of that report. Thank you.
Mose, first question was on the ECHA report on the shortage of medicine. Yeah, but it wasn't very clear. I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating, please?
I just mentioned that report because it's a very important report also, but we already written about the report, so I don't need any comment on that now, but I haven't yet written about the other report on aid for trade. And Paula, as you mentioned, that the President will meet the chairperson, I think, of the African Union on Sunday. I think this could be relevant for that meeting, maybe.
Okay, I'm looking at the team to see if there's anything we can say about that. Not really. So I'm afraid there's nothing that we can now immediately on the record say to that, Mose. Good. Other questions? I have online Leah. Leah Hillebrand.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to ask you one question about the 19th sanction package. The statement, did I understand correctly, would be then recorded by von der Leyen and then by Kallas as well, and this will be put on EBS, so there's no Q&A, because, I mean, von der Leyen and Kallas are not at the same place also.
Exactly. And that's been a bit the challenge of the planning this morning, and this is also the reason why we haven't been able to give you more details. So, yes, I confirm there will be a statement by President von der Leyen on EBS, and indeed there will not be a possibility to ask questions. HRVP Kallas will also put forward a statement. As we speak, and I'm trying to see if I have news on that front, we're seeing if it will be broadcast or if it will be a written statement. But as said, I should be able to confirm to you also the timing for the statement by President von der Leyen any moment. I'm looking also at my phone to see if I get feedback on this at any point in time. Maria Psara. Maria, are you able to connect? We don't see you. Your camera is off.
Can you see me?
Yes. Not see you, sorry.
Okay. I will try again and come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions on other topics? David.
David Price, Your Democracy. Yes, it's about this statements that have been made by the Commission relative to my case. Just to say, the police took my equipment in June, and there's been no charge against me, and I have no information about why they did it. And as far as I can tell from the Judicial Service of Belgium, I have no charges against me. The Commission made some statements which implied there were some judicial proceedings going on, and if they know about them, I'd like to know. But if they don't know about them, I would like them to withdraw the statement that there were that these proceedings exist, and that I'm a journalist in good faith, and there's nothing against my bona fide.
Thank you, David. I think it's the fourth time that you raised this question in the press room, and I'm afraid I'm really not in a position to give you any more replies on that. It's a case concerning you. We are not aware of what are the reasons for this raid. We are assuming that it could be based on some judicial proceedings, but you're right. We don't know. We only know what you tell us. Absolutely. So that's clear. And as said, I already expressed also from this podium our sympathy to your case. But unfortunately, there's nothing more that we can say about this in this press room. Maria Psara, are you now in a position to?
Let's see.
Connect. Yes, it worked. There you go.
Thank you for the question. I think it's for Ballas, and it's regarding Greece and the scandal of OPKP. Yesterday, it was published a letter by the Commission, by the competent DG, that gives Greece a deadline of October 2 to take the necessary actions following the OPKP scandal, and in order not to lose this year's subsidies. My question is the Commission satisfied with the consultations that are being held now between the EU, the Commission and Greece, and if there is a risk of suspension of the subsidies. Thank you.
Okay, so here is what's going on. The story goes back to essentially September 2024. At that time, the Commission carried out an audit, and we identified serious concerns when it comes to the way the Greek paying agency OPEC was operating. Because of that, we requested an action plan specifically to remedy this situation. So the Greek authorities began to work on an action plan, which they submitted early June 2025. The Commission had a detailed look at that plan, and by the beginning of August, we replied, again expressing concerns. So the Commission at this point in time was not fully satisfied, and we explained very well in that letter the way in which we expect the Greek authorities to improve further the action plan. Now, they have 2 months to reply. In that sense, the deadline is the 2nd of October. So for now, there's still 2 weeks or even more until then. So we are waiting for this updated action plan from the Greek authorities. And in the meantime, of course, there are good contacts between the two sides. So far, the Greek authorities complied with what we've requested from them procedurally, and we have no reason that this would be otherwise on this occasion. Of course, in general terms and in principle, if an action plan were not to be submitted on time, that could potentially lead to a suspension of funding. But again, we have no reason to assume that the updated action plan would not reach us on time.
Okay, thank you. Balázs Mose to Balázs, yes, please. Sorry, Maria, I see that you put your hand up again.
Yes, a follow-up question, if I may. If you could, Balázs, elaborate a little more on the conditions that the preconditions, let's say, that the Commission is asking from Greece in order to set everything okay by the 2nd of October. Thank you.
Look, I don't have too much insight into the details. We formulated our concerns very clearly in the annex of the letter that we sent early August to the Greek authorities, and of course some of the concerns have been revealed and are known publicly. It's clear that, to put it very simply, agricultural funds ended up in the wrong hands, and that's surely a situation that has to be remedied, and in that sense we need the cooperation of the Greek authorities, and that's something that we are looking at very intensively together with the Greeks, and we are looking forward to receiving their updated action plan as to how they intend to specifically remedy these concerns.
I see that Alexandra Voudouri raised her hand, possibly still on this subject.
Yes, Paula, thank you for the floor. Do you hear me and see me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I would like to ask on the same issue, but on a different matter, regarding the integration of the OPEC with Greece's Independent Authority for Public Revenue. Balázs, the Agriculture Minister, said yesterday that there is a cooperation, an action plan, and an action plan with a deadline of 6 months for this integration to take place. So I would like you to confirm whether you have this information and how the cooperation between the relevant DG or the Commission with Greek authorities is going on regarding this issue, the integration of the OPEC with Greece's Independent Authority for Public Revenue. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so procedurally, indeed, in 2024, September, the Greek authorities decided to put on probation the accreditation of the national paying agencies, so OPEC, which is a decision that they can take. And this decision concerned a period of 12 months, which is sort of expiring as we speak. That's why, upon the request of the Greek authorities, we extended this probation period by another 6 months, as you correctly say, so until the beginning of March. So that provides some time to specifically agree on the action plan, part of which, of course, is a discussion on the potential transfer or integration of OPEC into the Independent Authority for Public Revenue of Greece. So this is part of the discussions, but this is an ongoing matter, so I cannot comment any further at this stage.
Okay. Moses, still on this topic.
Yes, thanks again, Paula. Well, I'm not familiar with the details of this affair, but if I'm not wrong, I think that whistleblowers or senior officials in that paying authority have been removed, from the agency and so on. But what I wonder is if the Commission had concerns because of irregularities which are found in an audit, which means, I suppose, that money were incorrectly paid out to beneficiaries. Shouldn't that money be recovered, irrespective of the, let's say, of that action plan Greece now will send? Because that's about the future, but that will not remedy, I think, those irregularities which already have taken place. Thank you.
Yeah, so we keep a very close eye on how agricultural funds are being spent. Fundamentally, it looks like as follows. In every member state, there's a paying agency or more. They are in charge of making sure that the money is spent according to the rules. They have to set up audit, control and management systems, and we audit those systems regularly. And when we do that, and when we identify deficiencies, we can recover money. For example, last time in June, we took what we call a conformity decision. This is something that is decided by our agriculture department, and specifically from Greece, we recovered around 500 million euros. So these audits are taking place continuously, giving us the chance to recover money which was not spent according to the rules.
Thank you. Also learning some things here. Balázs, thank you for your explanations. Any other questions? No, so this brings to an end our midday, and as said, you will be hearing from us at any moment about the timing of the statement by the President. Thank you.